It was another super windy day here in Greece. I'm out super powered up on a 5-metre boat and a 96-litre freestyle wave. And I'm going out with the challenge, or the intention, as I think we should do every time we go windsurfing, of not catapulting. And I know that sounds like a normal thing to try and do, but a lot of people have been asking, how can I get in control and how can I stop getting thrown out the front door? So that's the goal, not to get catapulted despite, whoa, 2 in a row, despite being really powered up. Now there's definitely some techniques I'm going to talk through in just a minute that we can do with our body and our hips and our hands and our head and things to help us control and not be overpowered or not get thrown out the front door. But I think we should start with some terminology and where people misunderstand what you have to do. Right now I'm heading hard upwind. You'll keep slipping a bit. Right now I'm heading hard upwind. If I want more power, if I want to go faster, or if I wasn't in the straps and I wanted to be, I'd have to bear away a little bit. Bear away. That's the term that I think people misunderstand and get confused. Because bear away does not mean head downwind. So bearing away or heading downwind, different things. Bearing away means whatever point of sail I'm on, I'm going to go slightly further away from the wind than the current direction. For example, right now I'm heading hard upwind, and a little bear away has taken me still upwind, but with a little bit more power. Bear away does not mean head downwind to full power. That's where I think people go wrong. For example, I'm going to slow down here. I'm out the straps. I'm now very close to the wind. I have power, but I'm not trying to get planing yet. When I'm ready to, I need to bear away a little bit. I do not want to head downwind. If I do that, I'm going to accelerate with so much power and so little control that jumping into the straps or stopping myself going around the front is going to be a nightmare. So from close to the wind, to get planing, to get into the front straps, I'm bearing away, not even across the wind right now, still not quite across the wind, I'm into the front strap. Instantly I'm back upwind once again to regain that control, stability, and stop myself getting overpowered and out the front door. To get planing and get into the foot straps, yes, you have to bear away. No, you don't have to go downwind. Providing, of course, you have enough power, this is. And that's where it gets harder, I think, is a lot of the time you're trying to get into the foot straps, trying to stop yourself get catapulted. Possibly you're underpowered because you're nervous and you've taken a smaller sail. Or possibly you've gone the opposite and gone, I need power, and gone massive, and you're trying to bear away at the same time downwind. Okay, I'm upwind, powering up a bit. No, we're not even across the wind there. I'm in the front foot strap and I'm heading back upwind now. I'm in the back strap. All done upwind. If I'm upwind, I've depowered everything. I've made things easier for myself. I'm much less likely to go out the front door if I'm going upwind. Everything begins upwind. Even a jibe begins upwind. I want to jibe now. Excuse me. I'd like to jibe. I'm going upwind hard. I'm out the back strap. I'm preparing my dive. The next thing to stop ourselves catapulting, and it kind of links in with going upwind, we need to be very aware of where the wind is. The whole time we're windsurfing, we should be looking directly at the wind and across the wind. And that's with my head, my shoulders, my hips, and my front foot's a bit looking towards the wind. By knowing where the wind is, I'm much more likely to go towards it. Also, by looking towards it, that's your vision. You look where you want to go. I want to go upwind, I'm going to look that way. So bearing away to get that power on does not mean downwind. Bearing away means just a little bit further away from the wind than where you currently are. Everything starts upwind. The way we know where the wind is coming from and the way I get upwind is by turning to look upwind. Head, shoulders, hips in the harness. And a little bit my front foot, so looking that way. When I'm doing that, I can then preempt a little gust coming or a little lull. Links us a little bit into say, blasting control. If a big gust is coming and I don't like it, I can head upwind harder using my feet and digging my heels. I'll do that now. Going upwind already, there's an extra gust. Whee. That extra little pinch upwind, that extra little steer, there it is. Depowers me, really helps me get upwind well. The other thing I'm doing, and I'm going to slow the couple of clips down as I edit this later, to help me steer into the wind, depower a little bit more. This is like your emergency saviour, emergency brake. Not something you do all the time, but watching my front arm just as I steer into the wind here. That front arm bent hard, allowing the back of the sail to shoot out, and that made it even easier to steer into the wind. I need to keep going once I've done that, of course, so we then extend the front arm, push through my front foot. But if I'm close to catapulting, kind of there now, that instant bend of the front arm, just for a second, can save you. Do it again. Woo-hoo. Bend that front arm, allows you to very quickly depower, skew up into the wind. You could look at this in the other way if you like and say, that's often where people go wrong when we're trying to get into the harness and foot straps. That front arm gets bent too much, and you accidentally then skew up and into the wind. So if you like, you could take this video in two ways. Why are you having trouble of getting into the foot straps? Maybe you're trying to do it with this front arm very bent in here. Or just like that, I slow down and stall into the wind. Extending that front arm and pushing it, as well as driving through the front leg. That's how I power up. Here we go again. Depower. Way. Definitely no way I'm catapulting there. I'm far more likely just to stop and fall in backwards, which is where you become more subtle. A little bend. Brings me upwind. A little push. Brings me downwind. Little bend. Let the rig go back a bit. Upwind. And extend and a push. Drives me downwind. And actually, even at speed, exactly the same thing is happening. Good windsurfers that look like they're just standing in a sailing position, charging along, They're just doing a subtler version of what I'm doing now, what I'm talking through. Let's recap those key points. To get planing, to get powered up, to get into the foot straps, you do not have to go downwind unless you're really underpowered. Most of the time I get planing across the wind or even slightly upwind. So the term bear away doesn't mean go on a broad reach charging run downwind. It just means turn a little bit away from the wind. Second key point was vision and looking for the wind, looking for the gust and the lulls. Being able to see into the future, predict what's about to happen, and do what you need to do to stop it. And the final point, your emergency action if you need to, which we're doing a little bit anyway, just blasting along, is that front arm bend, allowing you to skew up into the wind and depower very quickly. Thanks for joining me on this channel and on today's really windy day. So time to turn the cameras off and go for a bit of a play. But ask me any questions you've got, and this wasn't really the way I intended it, but it seems to be a challenge for me sort of channel. So if there's anything you want me to try and do, just let me know.